What is up, you guys? My name's John Camacho, and this is Between the Pylons. Thank you so much for watching this video today. This is one of 4 videos that I'm doing on the wild card round of the playoffs. I'm kind of pumping all these out at the same time. So, watch this, watch the next one, watch all of them. And guys, please leave a like and subscribe. I'm, kind of new at this. I'm just trying to build the channel. So, it really helps me out. It helps me a lot. Helps me out a lot more than it helps like the 2 million subscriber YouTubers that you watch all the time. Like, it matters to me anyway. Let's get started, guys. We're going to be talking today about the Bills and the Texans. I want to start off first with the story of their season because I think that's cool. We're in the playoffs. The one chapter of the NFL season is over, and a new one begins today or this weekend. So the Bills came into the season with really high hopes, honestly. They were hoping to see marked improvement from their second-year quarterback in Josh Allen. They were hoping to see, improvement from their defense that has been good for pretty much the entire tenure of Sean McDermott, but they really haven't had the talent around they've had the scheme, but they haven't really had the talent. And this year you started to see the talent was catching up to the scheme. They've been really, really good this year. And, of course, the running back that they ended up cutting LaShawn McCoy for, Devin Singletary. Well, they didn't cut him. They felt comfortable cutting LaShawn McCoy because of Devin Singletary. I'll put it that way. And in the season, pretty much everything went the way you would hope if you're a Buffalo Bills fan. They went 10-6. Josh Allen did improve. We saw improvement throughout the year, which is really cool to see in a second-year guy. We watched Devin Singletary become the starting running back throughout the season, and we watched the defense, stay good. They were good the whole time, honestly. And now they're in a position to win their first playoff game in the century, and it's exciting for them. On the other side of the coin, we had the Texans, and they were kind of in a different spot. There wasn't hopes for the future for the Texans. This was a win-now year. Texans went all in, traded with the Dolphins to get a franchise left tackle. They also got Kenny Stills out of that deal. They made moves. They mortgaged their future for this season for Deshaun Watson and this offense to put up enough points to win a lot of games. And we'll see. It worked. They're 10-6. It's kind of a different 10-6 because you don't see the defense. You didn't see the defense that maybe some fans were hoping for. It was subpar. You lost J.J. Watt. You obviously got rid of Clowney before the season. It was a tough season defensively, but they did have a great offense at times. It was elite when Will Fuller was in the lineup, and it was not elite when Will Fuller wasn't. As strange as that is, as great as DeAndre Hopkins was or is, they really do need that deep threat that Will Fuller is, and the often injured Will Fuller is a factor. It just is. And they're pretty much ranked anywhere between 10 and 20 in every major statistical ranking defensively. So not terrible. I don't want to paint them as a terrible defense, but not great either. Historically, in the playoffs, the Bills, well, they haven't won a playoff game since December of 1995. Fun fact, I was 2 months old when they won their last playoff game. It was actually against my Miami Dolphins, funny enough. Their last appearance in a playoff game was in 2017 when Tyrod Taylor went up against Blake Bortles in the wild card round. That was the year that the Jaguars went on to lose to the Patriots in the AFC Championship. And then on the other side of the coin, the Texans are 3-5 all time in the playoffs. You got to remember this is a pretty young franchise, so they don't have a lot of stats, but they're 3-5 all time and have never won in the divisional round of the playoffs. Obviously, they've won 3 times in the wild card round. Now, big factors that go into this game. I think it should be mentioned that the Bills have had a relatively low number of injuries this season, while the Texans have been riddled with injuries. And I like to say, I'm going to say it a couple times throughout the multiple videos that I'm going to do. Relatively low number of injuries doesn't mean no injuries. Every team in the NFL has injuries. It's 100% injury league. It happens. But I do like to point out when teams have been kind of lucky. They haven't had the injury bug as much, and the Bills haven't, and the Texans have. That's a huge factor in my opinion. I always think that, people don't look at injuries enough, in my opinion. And another small thing, I don't put a ton of weight in this because, well, last week's game against the Jets didn't mean anything, but the Bills are on a 2-game losing streak. And that's always kind of interesting when you go into the playoffs. Does momentum matter? Will that be a factor? I don't know. As far as the Texans are ranked 29th in passing yards given up per game. I think a huge part of this game is going to be the Bills' ability to throw the ball down the field. Now, we all know Josh Allen has a rocket arm, and we know that John Brown is really fast. If they can make a couple connections deep down the field, I think that's going to be the difference in this game. And I know that kind of sounds arbitrary. Oh, long passes down the field could change the game, obviously. But the Texans, that's a huge weak point for the Texans. They showed us this season how nervous they are about their back end of their defense when they traded a third-round pick for Garyon Connolly. And Garyon Connolly has played pretty okay this season, but he hasn't been great, and he was kind of a bust for the Raiders. That's why they shipped him off for a third-round pick, a first-round pick, 3 years ago? Yeah, 3 years ago now. So we know, the Texans know, and we know that the back end of their defense is not something that they're very proud of. It is a huge issue for them. And then on the other side of the coin, the Bills ranked 4th in passing yards giving up per game. So they don't give up a lot of passing yards, which is really good when you're going up against Deshaun Watson in this high-powered passing attack. Now, make no mistake about it, the Texans are going to be able to pass on them. They're going to be able to put up some yards and points. It always happens. Every week, the Texans are able to do that. The issue is defensively, can they hold up against, the better offenses in the league? This week, they don't go up against a high-powered offense. These are two teams that are kind of diametrically opposed. One, the Texans, they want to outscore you. And then the other, the Bills, well, they want to control you, for lack of a better term. They want to control the game. They want to control the clock. They want to run the ball. They want to play sound, good defense and win the game that way. They're two very different philosophies that are going head-to-head in this matchup. Now, as far as my prediction, I think the Bills win this game. I think the Bills win a close game. My final prediction is 31-27 Bills. I think this is going to be one of those games that comes right down to the wire. I think Deshaun Watson is going to have a chance in a kind of a 2-minute situation where he's down by a touchdown, needs a touchdown to win. And honestly, I think the Bills are going to be able to get ahead. I like their ability to hold off in the end, and that's where I'm going with it in this game. Now, that could easily change. This is not a game I'm super confident in. I could easily see the Texans running away with this. I mean, it really could go a bunch of different ways depending on the factors. It's one of those things where I just like certain things about the Bills and certain tendencies about the Bills more than I like about the Texans. The Texans have been kind of a wishy-washy team all season, and I don't really expect that to change. Well, that's all I got, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please check out the other 3 videos in this little series that I'm doing. I really appreciate it. Like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, all that good stuff. See you next time, guys. Bye.